questions for Drew? We'll start with RJ Abadia.
Hey, Drew, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, no worries.
So you've got some spots to fill basically to your left and to your right. So I'm just curious, very early returns, but who's been working those guard spots with you and kind of how are they doing based on the early start?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. First of all, I think it's a good problem to have. We got a bunch of guys that can play and are going to play well. So that's been nice to see. But it's been a little tricky because we've been split practice so far. So I haven't seen pretty much half the guys play to this point. But we got a bunch of guys in there. Pretty much the whole group from last year that played is in the mix. The freshmen are in the mix, obviously. So I'll probably have a better idea once we throw some pads on, but definitely some great options for those spots.
And then just a quick follow-up on the split practices. It's out of necessity, but I'm wondering, are there any silver linings for you with that as an older guy?
Yeah, I think, there's always, like, in a smaller group, you get a little bit more individual coaching, just with the ratio of player to coach. So that's been nice. Hear a little bit more from Coach Carberry, things like that. Yeah, I don't know. You kind of get, in a way, you get twice the film to watch because each group will run those same plays for practice. So you get a little bit more learning opportunity. You see the young guys do their thing on film as well. So lots to learn.
Next question, Jacob Rayburn. Go ahead, Jacob.
Hey, Drew. Thanks for doing this. And thinking about what Coach Shaw said when he was asked about guys who showed up to camp looking very physically different from the end of last season, and he went straight to talking about the offensive line. I want to hear your take on the progress guys made to be physically ready for this season when a lot of time they were away from coaches.
Yeah. I think it starts with last year. We were obviously really dissatisfied with the result. So I think it always helps to have that extra motivation. But yeah, we talked about a lot of young guys, obviously, and they were still figuring out what it takes to play at this level. And kind of the big challenge we issued to them was, like, you've now played as freshmen, now you got to develop into a veteran. And a lot of that is through the strength and conditioning. And a lot of that is a tribute to the strength and conditioning staff. And even though we were remote and home for a lot of time, they were constantly sending us, training programs, things like that. So I think those guys really took it to heart and really developed a ton. It's been great to see them grow up both in another year football wise and develop physically and kind of get ready for this year. And they're in a great spot.
Next question back to RJ. Go ahead, RJ.
So given all the injuries and attrition that you guys have had the last couple of years, I think it's fair to say Coach Carberry hasn't really had a chance to implement the run game and the style and the scheme that he really would want. And we haven't really seen the best of you guys. Where are you guys right now in terms of identifying what you do well and kind of what you got out of the classroom time with him in particular this summer?
Yeah. I think there's a little bit of adaptation every year you look at your roster and you kind of say, like, what can we do well? So there's always going to be a change from year to year. But yeah, we feel great about the game plans moving forward and the plays we're going to install. It's always a game of execution. They can call whatever they want or pick the perfect play, but it's more about us being able to do our job. So I'd say we all feel great about the play calls, feel great about the running, whatever the run game may be, and we're just excited to play with, as you said, a year under the young guys' belt and some healthy guys.
Next question from Harold Gutman with the Mercury News. Go ahead, Harold.
Hi, Drew. Thanks for joining us tonight. Could you just kind of sum up the last few months, what they've been like? I don't know if you actually went home, but I think some of the guys went home. You thought you were going to play, and then you thought maybe you weren't going to play, and now you are going to play. And practicing on a high school field that probably takes you back to high school a little bit. Just what have these last few months been for you?
Yeah. yeah, as you kind of alluded to, I actually stayed here all through that time, but a lot of guys went home, so it's been pretty tumultuous. There's a lot of changes, but I think the constant, actually, in a weird way, has been football. We've been training hard and everything, and preparing for a season like it was going to certainly happen. And obviously, we got the news that it wasn't going to happen, and now it just kind of shifted that to, okay, well, whenever that season does happen, we'll be ready. And then we got some great news and kind of switched back into season mode. So certainly a bit stressful, just kind of switching around back and forth like that. But I think this year and this team in particular is really priding itself on being ready and just kind of adapting and figuring out what we need to figure out just so we can play.
Next question from Jacob Rayburn. Go ahead, Jacob.
So Drew, we talked a bit with Malik about the social issues that have taken up a lot of people's attention and energy over this past few months, and it's become a really a main focus of young people on college campuses and on football teams. Wondering your view on that and its impact on the team, and kind of how you feel in terms of maybe the education it's provided for guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome. I'm lucky to be on a team with all these guys who are certainly more informed than me and study this stuff in school as well. So I've learned a ton from them. Obviously learned a ton from just the circumstances that are kind of happening right now. And I think the coaching staff, the university, everything has given us a great platform to speak out on those issues. And I think it's really meaningful for us to use our platform and to talk about these things and not let it just kind of be, hushed and put into the corner and all that. So I've really felt like I've learned a ton, and I feel like it's been great to see a lot of the guys emerge on the team and really kind of take that, I don't want to say burden, take that responsibility to speak out and to teach and do all that. So I've really appreciated it. I think it's been great for our team. It's been great for our culture and great for the people that follow us, so they can see that these are guys, and as a team as a whole, that we stand behind all these things.
Next, we'll go to Daniel Martinez-Crams with the Stanford Daily.
I know it's early, but where are you with installing the offense? And then is 4 weeks going to be enough time for that, or do you think some things might need to be pared down a bit?
Yeah, we have fortunately had these couple weeks before where we've been like doing semi practices, obviously like abiding by the social distancing stuff. But with that, we've gotten to do a lot of the mental prep, particularly with the young guys and some of the older guys, just kind of refreshing. So we've had a little bit more time than people think, but I think there has been an emphasis on really getting to our core stuff and really practicing a few things and doing a few things well than having this big arsenal. So I think 4 weeks seemed plenty of time. Most of these guys have all learned this stuff before, so it's I got a lot of faith in them to pick it up, and if not, we'll figure it out along the way. But I think we'll have everything we need as far as offensive plays go.
Anything else for Drew? Great, Drew. Well, thanks for the time. Appreciate everyone joining tonight. Have a good rest of the night.
Thank you. Appreciate it.